Welcome to another Near Protocol update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates for only like $5 a month. Speaking of the memberships, this video was actually recommended by one of our Platinum members. So if you want us to cover a specific altcoin for you, check out the memberships and let's see what's going on here. So Near Protocol still seems to be in the C wave of the second wave right here, and I went ahead and I updated the chart for the members. So right now what we are doing is we are working on the fifth wave of the C wave, and by the looks of it, I mean, I have a target for it. The target for the fifth wave of the C wave is at $2.05, and that's the 1.414 of the fourth wave move up. And yeah, we'll see if we get there or not. I really hope we do, because if we do, it's gonna be enough to consider this structure complete, and then after that we could start going up. Of course, we have another extension on the chart, which is the 1618 of the fourth wave move down, where we'll actually move up. And well, that's at $1.96 or 97 cents, but I don't really want to see the price drop below this, because if it does, the chances of us invalidating the entire 1-2 setup here are going to increase dramatically, and well, it's not gonna be bullish, because if we invalidate the entire 1-2 setup, we will most likely drop to the next big support level, which is at $1.57 or 58 cents. So hopefully we don't do that, but even if we do, as long as we stay above this, we should be fine in my opinion. I mean, the price already went below the 618 many times, so maybe this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to actually get another low before we go up, but you know, don't take that as my opinion, because we could always bounce right now, and if we do, the next target would obviously be the bull market support band, which by the way just had a cross. We'll talk about this soon, and the bull market support band is at $3 and let's say 2 cents or so. Then we're gonna have to get above the 200-day moving average, which is at $3.61, and then the target for the third wave, which is still valid by the way, is the 1618 of the first wave move up, which is currently at $4.95. But you know, this will only happen after we break out of this downtrend. We have been in a downtrend, well, ever since May of 2025, so for about 1 month. And to break above this downtrend and to break out of this downtrend, we have to break above this high right here, which is at $2.38, and then above the fourth wave high, which is at $2.72. And once we do that, I mean, it's obviously not going to be enough to say that the low is in, but it's going to be a bullish confirmation that something more bullish is going on, because we'll no longer be in a downtrend. And yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Now, I want to talk about the daily chart as well, because there's something here on the RSI that I think is very interesting. We're still below the moving average, and what we need to do right now is get back above it. And when we do, we need to stay above it, and then after we stay above it, I think we're gonna have a big bounce, just because we had a cross on the bull market support band. And if we do have a big bounce, please keep in mind right now my target for the third wave of this very large 1-2 setup is still at $35, and that's the 1618 of the 1-2 setup. And I want to talk about the 3-month chart for a second, because this shows us that the third wave to the upside might actually be the top. And well, actually, let me go on the monthly chart, not the 3-month chart, and let me explain why. So I mean, right here, you could theoretically count this as some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup. However, it's not the best 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup. And honestly, on the monthly chart, it really looks like an ABC structure. And the move to the downside for the second wave is another ABC structure. So I think right now what we might do next is get another ABC structure for the third wave. And, you know, after that, we could get the bear market or the fourth wave move down. It really all depends on what, Near Protocol wants to do. Could we form, a 5-wave move to the upside? Yes, we could. But, it's highly unlikely, because the first wave barely has 5 waves up. And honestly, I mean, if you were to ask me, I mean, I think it only has like 3. But if you go on the weekly, you could theoretically count this as a 1-2 setup. So this is extremely subjective right now, and it's gonna have to, pretty much prove itself, because, well, the structure is not the best. I mean, in the bear market, we dropped from like $20 all the way down to like 99 cents. So maybe this pump was only a corrective rally, and right now we're about to do some kind of ABC structure, which was gonna put us at new all-time lows. But yeah, what we need to do right now, if we want to prove that this is not the case, we need to break above this trend line, and this trend line is currently at about $7.62, and obviously from where we're at right now, that's extremely far away, but it's not, extremely unlikely to get to that trend line, because once Bitcoin dominance starts breaking down, Near Protocol and the other altcoins will most likely start doing something like this, because that's what happens every single cycle. And speaking of that, I actually want to show you what happened at the previous cycle and where Near Protocol was in the previous cycle when Bitcoin dominance was at cycle highs. So if you take a look at this high right here, Bitcoin dominance topped in December of 2020, it topped on December 28. If you look at what Near Protocol was doing on December 28, as you can see, it was around, let's see, about here. It was at like $1.64, and after Bitcoin dominance actually dropped, and after Bitcoin dominance dropped from about 73% right there, or almost 74%, to about 39% in the Bitcoin dominance bear market. During that time, Near Protocol went from like, what did I say, $1.60 all the way up to like $20. So is it possible to, get to new all-time highs in this cycle? Well, obviously it is, because if we do what we did in the previous cycle, I mean, right now the price is a bit higher than where it was over here, so we could theoretically break highs, in my opinion. And yeah, we'll see if we do that or not. I mean, if we actually want to compare this move to this move, it pretty much happened at the exact same price. So maybe we'll get some kind of double top here. So always make sure to take some profits. And honestly, if you bought at like $2, you should be pretty happy with a 10x, in my opinion. You should not wait for the price to get to my target region, or maybe, wait for it to get to like the 1.4 and then take some profits. But I'm definitely gonna, give you other profit-taking, let's just say, ideas once we actually start going up. And I think we're gonna do that. I don't know when, but when Bitcoin dominance will start dropping, that's when we, will start going up. And now what we need to do is get above the moving average on the weekly RSI. As you can see, we dropped below it, and this is not a good sign. So that's our main goal right now. And well, until we get above the moving average right there, it could continue going sideways for another couple of weeks. But please do not forget, we had a cross on the bull market support band, and usually it takes some time after the cross to get a pump. I mean, here, for example, when we had a cross in October of 2024, we actually went down after that. And if you take a look at how much we went down, let's say we had the cross about here, we went down about 34% or so. And right now, if you take a look, we had a cross right here, and from this point we went down about 38%. So it's pretty much the exact same thing, and the move to the downside that we have right now is normal, but we're gonna have to start pumping soon, because if we do not, I mean, we're gonna have another cross, and that's gonna be bearish. But the Near Protocol never had a scenario, at least in the bull markets, where it had a cross and it did not go up after that. Also, speaking of the crosses again, this is another example right here. We had a cross in July, and as you can see, it actually went down after that. We had a cross when Near was at like $1.48, and we dropped about 35%. So the move to the downside that we have right now is actually pretty normal, and I think we will bounce very, very soon. So that's my opinion. Obviously, don't take it as financial advice. And that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates for only like $5 a month. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe. I will see you in the next one.